Hi, Grandma Debbie here. Okay, so today we are going to be making hamburger steak with gravy and onions. But I'm also going to add a couple little twists to the normal recipe for this. Because like I say, a recipe's a guide, make it your own. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm making it my own. All right, so we're going to get started. And, can't wait to get going on this adventure. Okay, so we're gonna do the prep work first, and then we'll go on over and start cooking it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to cut up an onion. I'm using a white onion, and I'm only going to be using half of it. It says to use like a quarter of or a half of a medium onion. I think this one's a little larger than a medium. So I'm going to just use half of it, and we're going to go from there. And let's hope that I don't cry like I normally do. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, we'll go from there. Okay, so we're just going to slice this up. And I'm actually going to cut it in half and then slice it that way. Maybe if I can get a hold of it. And it wants to stick to my knife for some reason. Isn't that weird? Okay, and I'm going to kind of separate them as I put them into the bowl, so that when I go to cook them, they're already somewhat separated. Whew, it's a potent onion. The tears are starting. Okay. So we got our onion done. And now we're going to beat an egg. You're just going to use one egg. So I'm just going to beat it a little bit. I'm also going to take off my wedding ring because I'm going to be mushing hamburger. So we've got our hamburger. It calls for a pound of hamburger, but we do ours into 3/4 of a pound. So that's what I have. That's what I'm using. Okay, so into the hamburger, I'm going to add the egg that I beat. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, and I'm using panko breadcrumbs. And I'm only going to add a 1/4 cup, like I said. And I probably could have had all this measured out, but I didn't. Oh, I also do have potatoes going right now to make mashed potatoes, because I'm serving this with mashed potatoes. I'm also going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese to this, just to give it a little extra flavor. I'm going to do about a 1/4 cup as well. Wow, we got chunks in there. Okay, then I'm going to add some minced garlic. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of minced garlic. I love the smell of garlic. Okay, and then I'm going to add in some salt and pepper. And this is just to taste. So if you like yours a little more peppery, then by all means add it. Then I'm going to do, where'd it go? Okay, oh, I knocked it over. Then I'm going to add in a teaspoon of onion powder. Ooh, I'm almost out. I'm gonna have to get some more onion powder. I think I'm just gonna end up using all of it. Almost. I'm gonna have to add this to my shopping list though for the next recipe. Then I'm doing a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, whatever. But it's a teaspoon of it. Okay, and I'm going to mix this up, and I'm just going to use my hands to do it. It's already smelling really good. I just want to get it blended really well. And you know, you can double this recipe, you can triple it, you can make it for however many people you need to. It's completely up to you. Okay, now I'm going to form some patties. And it's up to you as to how thick you want them or how thin you want them. It's completely up to you. But you want to try and make for sure that they're uniform in size. And while the recipe that I'm somewhat following says that you should get 6 out of these, I'm only going to get about 5 because I'm using a little less hamburger. But you know, you can also use, if you wanted to, you could use ground turkey for this. You could probably even use maybe ground pork. I don't know how that would work out, but you could try it if that's what you like. Possibly even ground chicken. But I would not use beef bouillon, which is what we're going to be using. I would switch it up to chicken. Okay, so let me wash my hands. I will be right back. Okay, so I'm going to add flour to a plate because we're going to coat each piece of meat with flour. And then we're going to put it in a skillet. So I'm going to transfer everything over to the other side of the kitchen. So just bear with me as I do it. All right, hold on. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I've got my potatoes boiling over here. I've got my oil starting to heat up in my skillet. And I'm making a lot of noise with it. Okay, and so while that is heating up, I'm just going to take each patty that I've made, and I'm just going to lightly coat it, and then I'm going to put it in the frying pan. Oh, I told you I was going to get 5. I was not truthful there. I'm only going to get 4. I probably made them a little thicker than what the recipe called for, but that's okay. Okay, so while that gets going on cooking, I'm going to clean up my mess here a little bit. Okay, so I cleaned up my mess. The burgers are cooking very nice. So I'm going to flip them. See how brown they've gotten? Really, really super nice. Now at this point, they don't necessarily have to be cooked all the way because you're going to be cooking them once you add the onions and I'm adding mushrooms as well. I love mushrooms, especially sauteed mushrooms, so I'm going to be adding mushrooms as well as onions. Okay, so this is going to continue on cooking. And potatoes are going strong. I think they're going to be done before the food, so I'm going to turn them down a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna turn them down. And I'm gonna get a plate out. When the burgers are finished, then I'm gonna put them on a plate and keep them there for a few minutes. Also, I've added flour with my onions. And I'm just kind of mixing them up a little bit. And once again, I'm just using my hands to do it. So, okay. All right, I'm gonna bring you back as this continues to cook. I'll bring you back in just a few minutes. Okay, so the hamburgers have reached a point that I'm gonna take them off. So I'm gonna put them on this plate. And then I'm gonna add in, leave that sitting there. I'm gonna add in the onions to start sauteing them. And I'm actually also going to add in some mushrooms. I'm not going to do the whole container, I don't think. I don't know, I might. Let's see how far we go with this. You know what, I am going to add them all. Because what am I going to do with half a container of mushrooms? Right? Okay, so I'm going to let those saute until the onions are translucent and the mushrooms have softened. And then after I do that, I'm going to add in some beef broth. Can't even speak, but that's what I'm going to add in. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to it as well. Then I'm going to add the burgers back into the pan, and we're going to let them saute for a while. This is looking good, guys. It smells good. So it's looking real good. Okay, so I will bring you back in a few minutes after this is cooked down for a little bit. Okay, so the onions are translucent. So now I'm going to add in 2 cups of beef broth. And I'm going to cook it until it thickens up a little bit. And then I'll add the meat back in. Look at it boil. Whew. It's smelling good. Wish I'd smell-o-vision, because this really does smell good. Okay, so we're just going to cook this until it thickens just a little bit. I'm going to scrape off the flour from the bowl I was using and add that in there. Might as well, right? So my potatoes are done. I just have to mash them. So I will mash them in a few minutes. And when you're cooking the onions, you want to make for sure that you're scraping the bottom of the pan so that you get all the goodies from when the meat was in there cooking away, because that's what makes it really good and delicious. So do you see it bubbling? It's bubbling pretty good. So this kind of reminds me of Swiss steak, you know, that you used to get in TV dinners. And that's kind of what it reminds me a little bit of. A little more fancier than the TV dinners, the Swiss steak. Do you guys remember those? Those were like a real treat when I was growing up, because it took like 45 minutes in the oven to cook. They were in those little metal tins. No microwave, just cooking them in the metal tin. And like I said, it took forever to cook them, but it was such a treat to us when I was growing up. Because first off, they were kind of pricey, and secondly, they took a long time to cook. So my mom always made them as a treat for us. So, but same thing with pot pies. Pot pies came in these little metal tins. Banquet pot pies is what we used to get. I don't know if they still have them at the grocery store. They probably still taste the same as what they did years ago. And as you get older, they don't taste that great. Let me see how long I need to cook this for. Baxter, you gotta move my dogs over here. All right, I'm gonna add just a tad bit more flour to get it to thicken up a little bit. Oh yeah, it's looking good. It's getting thicker. Okay, so it's thickened up, so I'm going to add the patties back in. And I'm going to take some of the goodies and I'm going to spoon it over each one of the patties. I think I'm going to turn the patty too. Make for sure it gets covered all the way over, right? You don't want just one side to be looking good. Okay. So I'm going to let this sit here for a few minutes. I'm going to turn it down just a tad bit so that it can continue on cooking. And we're just going to cook until the meat is completely cooked. So another probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. And in the meantime, I'm going to mash up my mashed potatoes. So you've seen me do that, but that's what I'm going to do. So I will bring you back in just a few minutes. Okay, so the hamburgers are cooked through, the burgers are cooked through, and the gravy has thickened up a little bit more, and my mashed potatoes are mashed. So I'm going to say dinner is ready, and I will show you what we're going to do. I will take a picture and show you how it looks on my plate. All right. All right, well, I want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey and making this delicious food. I hope that you're having a great day, and I will talk to you soon. But also remember to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the share button. Let's grow this channel. All right, thanks and have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.